I almost fell asleep. I took a nap before this, and that was like 2 hours and a half ago. Burger, okay, hi. And I literally just woke up like uh like 20 minutes ago. Um, so I'm sleepy, but I'll wake up soon. Most likely once I start reading these little creepy stories. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Parker, will you be streaming this? I was a little crunchy. It is crunchy. Oh God. Wait. Let me see. What if I do this? When I come back. Wait, Charlie, is it audio key for you, or is it also not that good? I may have to restart the stream if it is. Hey, Farrakhan. Hi. Very weird question, but is the audio okay, Peter? Is the audio okay? Um, hi, Farrakhan. Hi, hello. It's okay. There's nothing malfunctioning right now. I can see if it's not. Okay. Let me know. But I'm not sensitive to that as much as others. I see. Hi. Is the audio okay? Like, is it normal as usual, or is it a little different today? Is the audio okay? Like me talking right now. Does it sound crunchy? Does it sound weird? I think I fell asleep during the stream yesterday. That's completely fine. That's completely fine. That was something. How's the audio now, Burgers? Oh good. Okay. Golden, welcome in. Hi. Hello guys. Are you ready to be spooked tonight? Oh yeah, I was telling Charlie. Yeah, I'm gonna have weird dreams tonight. Live on YouTube. But on YouTube. Oh, how am I gonna do this? I think I can pull it up on the website. Oh, YouTube is so nice. Let's go. Shadow, welcome in. Hi. How's it going? How's it been? Oh yeah, I was saying that I was telling Charlie how I fell asleep. I took a nap like 2 hours before stream, but I woke up like literally 20 minutes before stream started. And I had a really weird dream. I had a dream where I was working in this mall, right? Um, and every single person I will say hello to, they just automatically knew my name. What did I just like? You joined into your spooky stream. Yeah, so you're listening to some very interesting music in the background. But every single person knew my name, and I was just like, how do you know my name? How do you know my name? Like, I didn't have a badge or anything like that. I mean, I was working, but I didn't have a name badge. And yeah, it was literally every single person I said hello to, every single person I was talking to, just knew my name. And after we like talk for like, I don't know, a few seconds, Karma, welcome in, Stepper, welcome in, hi. Uh, After we talk for a few seconds, we sit down and everything, they just turn into monsters. They start acting weird. Like, there was this, I walked out from the mall and I turned to the corner right to another little store, and I walked in, and this lady who was playing like bingo, and these other two girls that were beside her, this woman just turned around and she's like, "Hi, Odette," right? And I'm just like, oh, hi. And an old lady in front of her was like, "Don't be like that, don't scare her, like she just got in, like control yourself." And I'm just like, "Oh, are you okay?" I'm great. I'm great. You had a spooky dream before the spooky stream. Exactly. And then after that, Bisto, welcome in, hi. After that, no, okay, I got you guys on YouTube. Hello, people. Um, Hi, Nate. Welcome, Spooky. Where was I? Oh yeah. And then I don't remember all of them, but the last one, I was with this little girl. I was with this little girl, and I'm like, "Hey, where's your mama?" Right? And she like points behind her. She's like, she's right there. And so I turn. I'm just like, "Oh, hi," and the same thing. The mom was like, "Hi, Odette." I'm just like, "How do you guys know my name? What's going on?" This mom like slowly started to get aggressive, and let's just say things did not end well. I'm not gonna go too deep in that because it did get kind of gory, but yeah, that was my dream. That was my dream. That was stuff Oreo welcome in. Hi. So it was a very interesting um dream. More details. It's a little gory. So hi, ready for some creepy stories? Yes, some creepy stories. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read a few creepy pasta stories, and then after that, we're gonna read some Reddit stories that I found, and then lastly, we're gonna end it with my stories. How does that sound? So we have a little bit of everything in there. How does that sound? How does that sound to you guys? Good. Chaos? Chaos? Okay. Oh, okay. Hold up. Okay, we're gonna have to separate you. Oh, we're just gonna leave you like that. Okay. Sounds good. Unit 1. Yeah, let's go. Okay. I'm gonna start with okay. I didn't really read through all of them for these. I just read a few sentences. I read the title and I was like, okay, that sounds good. That sounds good, you know? That sounds great. So I will be going along with you guys through these stories because I have no idea what they are about. All I know is that they may be creepy or they may be a little gory. Alright? So we're gonna start with creepy pastas. And the first one is 2 minutes long. It's a short little story, and it's called "We Don't Deliver." And I picked it because I deliver happy letters, so a little lore in there. But the title is called We Don't Deliver. Okay, I'm gonna start. Oh wait, are you guys ready? Sorry, I was about to jump in. Are you guys ready? Are we all ready? Yes. Is everyone ready? Yeah. Ready, burger. Okay. Ready? Okay. Let's go. I have to go get ready for work. Okay, Shadow, thank you for passing by. Good luck with work. Bye. Okay. So I'm gonna start. We don't deliver. I don't welcome in a crazy player showing up. Of course. Thank you. You're always welcome back. I'm about to start reading Adam. Thank you for the like. Alright. We don't deliver. I give it a Thank you. Arigato. After moving to a small town in southern Michigan, I got a job as a cashier in the local store. After work, I will walk home to my small house and order a small pizza. Kia, welcome in. This was my routine for 2 weeks, when things took a strange turn. I called in my usual order to the pizzeria when a new voice. What? I called in my usual order to the pizzeria when a new voice, one I hadn't heard before, answered the phone and told me, "The usual? No problem. I'll deliver it in less than 5 minutes." Sure enough, within 5 minutes my order was delivered, and it was exactly what I had ordered every night before. When I tried to give the delivery boy a tip, he declined. He said he didn't need it and that he was just working at the pizzeria to get out of the house and to try and meet new people. This became my new routine for about 3 months. I'll order the same pizza and the same delivery boy will stop by at the same time. It was sort of a running joke between us how he knew my routine so well and that I always had exactly what he needed. Welcome in. Hi. We're starting with the first story. When I grew tired of eating the same thing every night, on my way home I stopped at the small diner across the street from the pizza place and had a nice dinner. Thank you for the pizza. Thank you. Arigato. I appreciate you. Through the window, I saw my usual delivery boy leave the pizzeria with a box in hand, heading towards my block. I returned home later than usual, and I found a pizza box sitting at my doorstep. On the box was a note that said, "Missed you. Guess I'll get what you owe me tomorrow." Explosion. I've been exploded. Guys, I've been exploded. This is not Odette anymore. This is Ghosty Odette. From now on, you're gonna be listening to creepy stories from a ghost owl. Enjoy. Thank you for the explosion. This creeped me out. I called the pizzeria and told the messenger. No. This creeped me out. I called the pizzeria and told the manager what I have found. I told him about the message and that for the past 3 months the same delivery boy had been stopping by and that I was sure he was the one who left the note. Welcome in again, Moon. It was then the manager told me something I never expected. "Ma'am, we don't deliver." And that was the end of the little mini story. So he was getting pizza from some random boy from somewhere. And he was eating that pizza for the last 3 months. That's actually more creepy than I thought. Like, if you really think about it, it's kind of creepy. Like, you're getting food and you don't know what they put in that food from some rando who you thought worked at this one pizzeria, but they don't, or more like they don't deliver. That's crazy. That's crazy. But on to the next one. The next one is a little bit longer. This one is 8 minutes long. And this one is called My Guardian Angel. I will start. This used to happen to me quite often when I was younger. But lately I have had different experiences. To start with, I would like to say that this is all true. Everything right here is fact, and you don't have to believe me. The first time I remember anything happening was when I was about 3 or 4 years old. My parents had guests over and they were sitting outside in the lapa, a type of grass roof patio type thing we had in South Africa. And I was playing in the living room. While I was playing with my Legos, the lights started to dim. This was before that was before dimmer switches, and I got a strong feeling of nausea. Well, the whisper exactly. And naturally, I was freaked out, so I bolted for the back door and out onto the porch. Right at the edge of the porch, I came to a sudden halt as something landed on my face. Oh. I don't remember seeing anything at all, as in everything went black. That was cool, right? But I could feel though it felt like the legs of a large spider. Oh my god. Maybe a huge daddy long legs. Were moving around on my face. For those of you unfamiliar with it, a daddy long legs is a tiny spider with very long and thin legs. This sensation was accompanied by the inability to move at all. I would have. You want a spider now? No. Spiders for me? Nope. Nope. Right at nope. At the little legs found my lips and forced my mouth open with a gentle but undeniable force. And I felt the legs moving into my mouth and throat. Suddenly the legs were gone and my body kept on running to my mom as if it hadn't just been frozen. Strangely though, I was calm by the time I reached my mother, and I merely started playing with the dogs while the adults talked. After this time, I started having a recurring nightmare. I was sitting alone in the middle of my parents' bed, but the room was far bigger than I could remember. The feeling of blind panic and nausea would hit me just before a large leopard stalked in through the door. My god. Only this leopard's limbs were all wrong. Why am I getting ads? Why am I getting ads? I thought this one didn't have ads. So basically the leopard was distorted. That's creepy. Can you guys hear the noises upstairs? They're really loud tonight. They're really loud tonight. They are really loud. Okay, going back. They were all wrong. Too long and too muscular, with no tail and a strange, elongated head. Hearing voices is good for this kind of shame. The squeaks. This creature will calmly walk towards me, and as it neared, I will fade into a different scene. My body was no longer there, but I was aware of a serenely calm line, and I took comfort in its simple beauty. The problem was that the more I wanted the line to remain calm, the more it would freak out, until all I could see and feel was a chaotic storm of fear and madness. Is the music too loud? Welcome in, Putty. Welcome in, Feisty. Hi, hi. I will I will wake up screaming and my parents will come running. This happened almost every night up to when I was 13. While this was going on, I remember that one night while lying in my bed, Leo, welcome in. I was awakened by a strange presence. My eyes opened quickly and I saw a small creature standing by my bed. Thank you for the gift. Hi, hi. Thank you for the like. I had my hand held in one of its little hands, stroking it with the other. This creature was covered in thick brown fur and built like a tiny human. Short claws sprouted from its fingers, and its face was made up of a wide mouth, no nose, and two very large eyes, deep green eyes. I noticed that I had awakened and proceeded to pull at me, trying to pull me from my bed. I screamed in terror and panic as I fell back until I heard the heavy footsteps of my father rushing to my room. The creature bolted into the shadows as my father came into the room. It's so hard to read. I believe this was a tokoloshi, a creature that lives in Africa, like a mischievous or malevolent spirit that can apparently only be seen by children. Oh, like a witch. The dream stopped on my 13th birthday. I remember it was to the day. I remember it was to the day. And I started to regain a sort of normal sleeping pattern. This was until the experiences started some months later. I will wake in the dead of night. I will wake up in the middle of the night, drenched in a cold sweat, and with an uneasy feeling in the pit of my stomach. This would be followed by the sound of my bedroom door opening and the sensation of someone like coming. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, there's so much grammar in this. Welcome in, Ashley. Hi, hi. This will be followed by the sound of my bedroom door opening and the sensation of someone coming to sit on me as I laid there. I always slept facing the wall, and when this started happening, I lacked the courage to open my eyes, much less turn around. This experience will last for a few minutes before the presence will get up and leave. I will immediately feel its absence and switch on my bedside lamp to look at the spot where I felt it. It had left the spot of my duvet smooth, like the mark you make from sitting on a made-up bed. I remember becoming a very frequent event, and I tried to rationalize it, so I decided that it must be my guardian angel. I was religious at that time. The visitation came to a climax one night when I woke up to the sound of my door opening at night, and the presence returned to its perch atop me. But this night it was followed in by something big. This thing walked to my room, and its footsteps sounded like trees falling down. My father was a big guy, but I knew the weight behind the sound of his footsteps, and this was easily 3 to 4 times heavier. This thing stomped to my closet, pulled one of its doors of the hinges, and proceeded to scatter all my clothes across my room before stomping back out of the room. My angel, Coco, followed it out of the room, and I fell asleep crying into my pillow. The next day, I demanded to be taken to see a priest, and my mother found a priest that had apparently had experience in dealing with demons. The priest and I talked for a while, and eventually it came to the topic of my angel. I told him what happened and how it will make me feel, and he told me that it was no angel. Angels do not go out of their way to scare you. He then prayed for me and taught me how to bless my room and said that if they return again, I should command them to leave. That night I got my chance. My door opened as usual, and the being came to its perch. I mustered what courage I mustered the courage I could and told it, in a weak and trembling voice, to be gone and never return. I felt it turn atop me as if to observe what was going on, and I felt my courage grow. It had responded to me and it felt stronger. I repeated my command with more steel in my voice, and I could feel the being get off me. That's when I sat up and shouted at it to leave me alone once and for all. I left quickly, and I was sitting alone in my room until one of my parents came in to ask if I was okay. I was better than okay. I was victorious and free. For several nights after I had vanished, my angel, I could hear a mournful singing coming from the hall outside of my room. Bolstered by my recent victory, I strutted from my room and stood in the hallway listening. The song was beautiful, but to this day I have heard nothing more mournful. The darkness seemed deeper at the end of the hall, and I felt my resolve weaken as it grew to swallow more and more of the hallway. I turned and ran to the other end of the hallway, my parents' bedroom, and burst in just as the darkness engulfed the whole hall. Okay. The singing was much closer now, but I was unable to follow through the doorway. I woke my father and told him someone was in the house. He got his gun and went to investigate. The darkness had stopped singing when I started waking my father. I went with him out in the house, and the darkness retreated as we approached. Naturally, he found no sign of people in the house apart from us. That was the last time I saw or heard my angel. Since then, fresh terrors have visited me, and even attacked my friends. It even attacked friends of mine. I still fear the dark, though. I know my angel wishes. Oh my God. I still feel. I still fear the dark, though. I know my angel waits just at the edges of my control, just waiting to get a chance to return. And that's the story of my guardian angel. Sorry if I started a lot on that one. There was like a lot of grammar in it. Spooky. Yeah, that was a great story, right? That seems something very natural. The real scary part is the grammar, right? The real scary part is the grammar, guys. Okay. Guardian angel. Okay. Before we start with this one, there's one specific one that I really want to read. Where is it at? Okay, this one is 4 minutes long. It's very short, but it's called A Night in the Forest. And the only reason why I picked it was because their cover has a really creepy doll, covered in blood. So we're gonna read it. 8 years ago, during the week before Halloween, some friends and I decided to tell spooky stories around the campfire. We had always wanted to make a fire outside and hang out at night, but we were too young to go by ourselves, especially after midnight. That year, things were different. We were no longer children, we thought. So we somehow convinced our parents to let us stay out late. We didn't tell them about the fire, obviously. Once we all gathered in front of my house, we only had to think of a good place to hang out. so that our parents wouldn't find out about the fire. We ended up making the fire near a small dirt road out by the forest. Very welcome, and welcome to everyone else who was here. Hi, hi. Where was I? We ended up making the fire near a small dirt road out by the forest, leading straight to the riverside. Oh, there's water involved. Oh, the setup was great. A creepy forest, the sound of the river flowing, crickets chirping, and the scary sight of an abandoned stone house in the background. Oh my god, they're by a house. Why? It was a rather warm night for that time of the year, and the moon was shining over the forest, casting strangely shaped shadows on the walls of the abandoned house. It was quite unsettling when you caught a glimpse of a moving shadow out of the corner of your eye. By the time we had finished making the fire, the moon had moved slightly, and the shadows were gone. A thing which brought us a bit of relief. We found a slab of stone next to the river, and we used it as a makeshift stage in front of the fire for the storytellers to stand on while narrating the creepy tales. We took our flashlight out of our backpacks and started. A few stories in, it was finally my turn, so I grabbed my flashlight and headed towards the stage. I had just started my scary story when all of a sudden, it was freezing cold. The flashlight turned itself off, and the wind started blowing violently, putting out the fire. Oh my god, that air is strong if the fire went out. I panicked, and I kept slapping my flashlight in the hope of it turning back on, assuming it was a joke of mine, but still unsettled by the whistling of the wind. Everybody instinctively reached for their flashlight, but none of them worked. Overwhelmed by fear, I slowly headed back towards the group. The light of the moon was no longer visible either. It was like something just filled the area with darkness, or rather, sucked all the light out of it, if that makes sense. As I was walking without being able to see anything, I tripped on a rock and fell on the ground. The flashlight fell right next to my face. As my friends approached me, the flashlight suddenly turned back on, illuminating the front of the abandoned house. That's when I saw it. That's when we saw it. A little fair-headed doll. Okay, it is a doll. Its pigtails adorned with red dotted ribbons, all covered in what looked like blood, was standing at the window ledge. We all freaked out, and the girl started screaming when the doll simply fell out the window for no reason whatsoever, followed by a weird metallic screech as it hit the ground. We had no choice but to grab our backpacks and run home. After a few days, a couple of older friends of ours came with us to investigate the house. They were clearly amused by our silly ghost story and didn't take us seriously. We reached for hours, yet we found nothing here. Nothing there. However, when we were walking down the path leading to our abandoned campsite, we saw a trail of dried blood, drops leading just off the main path into the thicket. The droplets grew farther and farther apart, and we eventually lost track of them. Shortly after, a wolf howled at the moon. They're in the dark again. And judging by its loudness, it seemed to be quite close. As we were rushing back to the path, one of our older friends tripped over something and fell face first into the dirt. Ouch. We saw a red dotted ribbon next to his face, quite similar to the ones the doll had. As we dug through the hard gravel, we came across a hand, a little girl's hand, covered in dry blood. What did it? What? What? That's that's the end of the story. That's the end of the story. Hmm. Hmm. Um, why is there a doll in every horror story? Because dolls, they like to be creepy. That's why. Yeah. Okay. Dolls are right. I wish I continue a little bit more. Dolls are creepy. They are creepy. I don't have any dolls. I will never have any dolls around my house. Mm-mm. Never. Especially porcelain. Oh, uh-uh. No. Nope. Okay. If I see a doll, I'm breaking it. You're breaking it. Oh God. If I see a doll, mm-mm. No. I had I've had so many bad experiences with dolls. I'll tell you at the end of the stream. Okay. The next one is All the Papers Lied Tonight. This is a 9-minute story. I'm not sure if this one is creepy. This one might be psychologically creepy. So, let's start. God, I'm just going crazy. You ever have one of those how in the hell did I get here moments? I mean, those flashes of clarity where you really see your life. You look in the mirror and you're so far removed from the person you dream of being when you were a kid that you're stunned and speechless. Mine happened about a year ago, a week or two before Thanksgiving, when I woke up in the hospital. Oh, I was incredibly disoriented. Everything seemed unreal and distant, not really happening to me. Like I was dreaming, or an avatar in a video game. Maybe it was because I already felt so disconnected. Maybe it was the terrifying reminder of my own mortality. But it felt like I was seeing myself with a stranger's eyes. Waves of shame and self hatred rolled over me in the hospital bed, and I vowed to change my life. I made similar resolutions before and failed miserably, but this time was different. This time, the changes was nearly effortless. Old habits evaporated, old temptations lost all allure. Peer pressure stopped being an issue because I just wasn't interested in hanging out with my usual group. When I tried going out with them sober, they bored me to tears. Meanwhile, other relationships in my life were improving. At my son Logan's birthday party, I even overheard my ex-husband telling his mother that I finally grown up and stopped causing so much heartache for everyone. When the last children had left and I was cleaning up, my son surprised me with a running hug. He wrapped his arms around me and squeezed me harder than he ever had in his life. Will you stay? He whispered. Turkey's music? Yes. I brushed back his hair with my hand. Of course, I'll stay as long as you want. You could even spend the night at my place tonight if your dad says it's okay. He sighs happily. You're so much better than my real mom. Every cell in my body froze. I launched into a speech about how I was his mom, was trying to change, knew I needed to earn his trust back, etc. Okay, he's slightly, obviously eager to return to his pile of presents. But just before he ran off, he winked at me, like we had an awesome secret. Oh. Logan couldn't stay with me that night after all, and honestly, I was kind of relieved. What he said had caught me to the core, and for the first time in nearly a year, I desperately wanted a drink. I made it all the way to the front door of my apartment complex before I lost it and started sobbing. I was fumbling in my purse for my keys, trying to see through a glaze of tears, when Sam put his hand on my shoulder. Sam had lived in the apartment next door to mine for years. Before my epiphany, I'd barely spared him a glance. But after, I'd found myself choking in cartoon butterflies whenever he passed by. That's such a weird. Okay. I've never had I've never had to chase a guy before. It's not that I'm Angelina Jolie or anything. It's just that I used to spend an enormous amount of time and money making myself look like nothing like myself. You've seen The Old Maid, or one of my countless clones. A golem of silicone and acrylic, spangles and bleach. It was a lot like being a zombie, I suppose. You can barely move for fear that parts of you will fall off. Back on point, I'll be trying to catch Sam's eyes for months, and I was terrible at it. Zombie feed. I'll chat him up and I think I was getting somewhere, but then I made a joke or a quote a movie, and he cringed like I just stabbed him. Humiliating when wait to have finally caught his attention. Bawling like an angry toddler on the front steps, miserably wiping snot in my sleeves as I blubbered confessions for a million sins. Sam listened patiently, only stopping me once to suggests we get out of the cold and continue talking in his apartment. He drank me under the table. I lost all my tolerance in a year of sobriety, but Sam definitely didn't have the problem. When I got up to get us both another, it was easy to see why. His refrigerator looked like mine used to, boasting the 4 food groups of beer, liquor, takeout, and ethically condiments. Did your roommate move out? I asked, carrying our beers back from his kitchen. She was a big cook, right? I used to walk by your place around dinner time and drooped. She wasn't my roommate, he said quietly. She was my wife. My face fell and the last year flashed in sickening instant replay. His total disinterest in me killed the wife. Sophia will come in me, followed by the pain looks and vanishing act whenever he caught himself flirting back. I never bothered to ring check him until my crush hit. Thank you for the like. Hi. If you like to talk about it, I'm interested. But I won't pry if you don't. Up to you. He laughed a little, shaking his head. It's funny. Emily was usually such a good judge of character. But she was so wrong about you. Sucks that she never got to know you. I think she will have really liked you. He changed the subject, and I excused myself soon after. The next day, curiosity led me to Google his wife. As I read through the results, my eyes widened. Emily had died the night I passed out, and it appeared she might have accidentally saved my life. I spoke with a neighbor and confirmed that my guess was right. The EMTs who responded to Sam's 911 call have been the ones who found me. Since they'd been called out for just one patient and only had one ambulance, they put me on a board and hung it on hooks from the ambulance ceiling. I didn't sleep a wink the night I found that out. My stupid drunk ass, curse word, had hung there a few feet above the worst moments of Sam's life and the last ones of Emily's. The ultimate third wheel intruding on something incredibly private and intimate. I laid in my bed, staring at the ceiling, imagining what it must have been like for Emily. Staring up at a woman she thought was a total waste, knowing that I'll wake up and she never would. What do you care? I blushed against my pillow, thinking of how I hit on him so soon after her death. I couldn't believe he'd ended up comforting me. I swore to never flirt with Sam again, and I kept that promise, even as we became friendlier and wound up with the weekly TV and Chinese food appointment. I didn't mean to get him a Christmas present. I considered it, but written it off as over the line. Then I went drifting and saw this pocket knife. It wasn't anything flashy, but something about it just said Sam to me. When I picked it up and examined it, the owner came up behind me. "You got a nice taste, honey," he said. "They don't make them like that anymore." And I smiled cause that was how I felt about Sam. But when Sam opened the gift, his face went white. Did I did I tell you about this that night I was so drunk?" he murmured, picking up the knife and turning it in his large fingers. "I must have." Sam had inherited one exactly like it from his grandfather. It had gotten lost when he and Emily moved into the building, and he felt awful about it. Oh crap. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. No, this is great. I've been trying to find one for a long time. I've been trying to find one for a long time. Thank you. I think he meant to pick me on the cheek, but it landed on the corner of my mouth. And the next thing I knew, oh, oh, he was kissing me for real. It was amazing for about 10 seconds, and then he sprang off the couch, stammering that he was sorry, that he'd been overcome. And then it just poured out of him. He told me how much I reminded him of Emily, and how being with me was so much like being with her that I broke his heart. You say things she said, you quote movies she used to quote. Jesus, you wear some of the same clothes. Who puts this green, I don't want to curse, green wash on Triscuits? Nobody I've ever met except you and her. I didn't reply. I couldn't reply. "I shouldn't have kissed you," my therapist said. He broke off with a disgusted noise, sighing deeply before continuing. "I just don't think I can get over her and do this. The dinner's with you. I'm not moving on. I'm just pretending I don't have to." He apologized again and then he was gone. I stared at the door like an idiot for a few seconds, letting that sink in. He left his present on my coffee table and I bent to pick it up. Aisha, welcome in. Hi. You're so much better than my real mom. I think I know what's going on. Maybe. Suddenly, pieces were snapping together in my mind, and I kept shaking my head like I could break them apart again. What I was thinking was stupid, crazy, superstitious, lunacy. I've been a few feet away in the ambulance when she died. I woken up consumed with self-loathing, turning into a new person almost overnight. One with different hobbies, different opinions, different tastes. Even my own son didn't believe I was me. So many things falling into place. So many things falling into place. My instant extra strength crush on Sam. My new clothing and hairstyle, so similar to hers in her Facebook photos. How I suddenly decided to take up cooking and been really good at it. How I never put mint jelly on Triscuits before. I had no idea why I even bought it. How I didn't remember seeing half the movies I was always quoting. I've started seeing a therapist myself. She says I'm trying to distance myself from a past I'm ashamed of. The low self-esteem and my crush on Sam have manifested in me imagining that I'm a person he could love. She thinks maybe I hit my head when I fell, or maybe I have something called depersonalization disorder. I've read countless stories on No Sleep about haunting and possessions. You guys are the experts on banishment, rituals, salt and sage, and iron. But what do I do if I'm the ghost? What in the hell do I do? And it ends right there. And there's no more. There's no more after this. What do you guys think happened? They were the ghost? That's what I don't. They were the ghost? I think she is a ghost. But how is she like talking with other people though? How is she talking with other people? This is what I was thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Um it's been a while since I've heard these stories before. But what if the person, maybe she manifested herself into a ghost? Maybe. Or what I was thinking was that she switched bodies. So basically could be that her soul jump into, body snatch, jump into this woman's body. And that's why when she wakes up she has all these different like hobbies and ideas and style and everything, because the brain is still there, but the soul switched. That's what I'm thinking. But a ghost, that got me confused. That got me confused. Interesting. That's interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Imagine something taking over your body. You are aware of it but powerless and it moves you around. Oh god. That is oof. Oof. What I feel like. Okay, there we go. Chili, welcome in. Hi. Welcome to the creepy story stream. But how are you guys doing? Are you liking the stories? I think that the last one I just read, I think that was one that I was like immersed into. The other ones were okay. They were okay. But that one was good. I liked it. If only there was more to it, that would have been great. Okay. All right. The next one is called Mr. Leaves. And this one is a little bit longer. This one is 17 minutes long. So bear with me. Okay. Mr. Leaves. Mr. Leaves was here. Those were the first words out of my daughter's mouth that morning. I dismissed the chatter as normal for a 7-year-old girl. It didn't seem strange to me that she would develop a new imaginary friend, especially under the circumstances. Change can do that to a kid, forcing them to create something to hold onto, making the world seem more secure. We had decided to move away from the city, to find somewhere a little less hectic. somewhere we could call home. As a doctor, I had to wait until an opportunity arose and was delighted when an opening appeared in the sleepy town of Windarm. It was a quiet place filled with pristine cottages, sun-baked streets, and lush hedgerows. Not too big, not too small. Perfect for the three of us. My wife Erin and I had named our daughter Karen after an aunt, but we always call her Kip instead. It was an old English word my grandfather used when he was going to sleep. Karen loved to sleep more than most, and so Kip seemed to suit her just fine. Uh-oh, Karen. Karen. And, oh, you know what? We can put this on here. There we go. Our new home at the outskirts of Windarm town was older than we were used to. A converted farmhouse dating back to 150 years or so, with a little bit of land thrown into the deal for good measure. We fell in love with the place immediately. When we first pulled up outside, Kip brushed up the rickety white stairs through the wide double doors and disappeared into the embrace of her new home. She was ecstatic. Ecstatic. Oh my god, these words are so hard. Roaming around the confines of the spaces inside. It was an adventure for her. Even at such a fragile age, she understood the importance of the stories old places could tell. She didn't mind the dust, the shaky banisters, or the creaking floorboards. Within 10 minutes, each of the 3 floors had been explored by her little 7-year-old feet. Of course, there were sure to be nooks and crannies not yet seen in the attic and cellar, but Kit was not interested in those places for now. She was only interested in where she could sleep and play. I had naively told her she could choose any of the bedrooms as her own, and of course she did, the best one in the house. Erin and I smiled at each other, watching happily as Kip darted around her new room excitedly. She loved the high ceiling because it felt grand and imposing, like being a princess in a castle. She found the groans and squeaks that the floorboard made under her feet hilarious. Hilarious. Oh god. Pressing up and down the loudest one while giggling. Most of all, she loved the window. What the heck? Sorry, that was a mosquito. Where was I? Most of all, she loved the window. It was wide and sprawling, looking out to the farmland which bobbed and weaved over flats and small hills below. An old oak tree towered alongside, a vacant barn nearby, and the summer sky bleached the world in blues, whites and yellows. And yet it was something much closer which fascinated my daughter. A thick, oh, oh no, a thick web of Evi roots had thrust out of the soil decades earlier, climbing a carefully constructed wooden frame attached to the house, which rose as high as the roof. The ivy had clawed and fingered its way across the wooden slats of the farmhouse, almost entirely covering the side of the building. The surrounding land was in full bloom, everything vibrant and green. The fields were swathed in tall crops which poked out of the soil like a million city dwellers standing still in the sun. Everything was alive and vivid, that was, except for the climbing ivy. Its vines were spindly yet clung to the wooden frame of the house with deceptive strength. A vast sea of leaves, brown and weathered, reached up across the wooden wall, encircling Kip's window. There was something troubling about these vines, clashing against, almost strangling the possibility of summer. Kip didn't mind. In fact, she was enamored by them. having me open the window so she could cara- caress the golden leaves which touched the seal. This is so hard to read for me. I am so sorry if I keep stuttering. Oh god. Oh god. The first night in the house was like any spent in a new place. Unfamiliar creaks and sounds echoing out through the darkness. I am often a deep sleeper, but uncertainty of the old building left me checking every bump and movement I heard throughout the night. I switched the lights on, checked the doors, and then looked in on Kip. She slept soundly, but I noticed that the window was still open, letting in the night cool breeze. I tried to shut it, but it felt jammed or stuck. The old flaking paint and grime freezing it into position after years of little use. I told myself I'll fix it in the morning. After all, Kit was 2 floors up and we were a quarter of an hour by car from my... Wait, what? Okay, let me repeat that part. I told myself I'll fix it in the morning. After all, Kip was 2 floors up, and we were a quarter of an hour by car from any other house. I thought she'd be quite safe and the window open. With the window open. Kip loved to lie in, and as it was Saturday and our first full day at our new home, I let her sleep until 10 in the morning. Oh god. When I entered her room with the bowl of cereal and glass of orange juice, I noticed how cold that big old room could get, even in the summer. She lays on her bed still asleep. I gently woke her, and it was then that she spoke these bewildering words. Mr. Leaves was here. I found the phrase amusing at first, but she seemed frightened, so we talked about it. He scares me, Daddy, she offered, but didn't want to say any more. I comforted her, saying that it was probably just a bad dream and that moving to a new place could be pretty scary by itself. Kate, go in, hi. But she still seemed uneasy. It was obvious to me that she was speaking about an imaginary friend. But the conversation disturbed me enough that I talked it over with my wife, worried that our daughter might not be adjusting well to the move. It's hard to leave your friends and school behind. That day, more of our things from the old home arrived. Slowly the house began to feel like ours, and I enjoyed wandering around it, taking in the glorious view of the crops fields. In the late afternoon, I went up to Kip's room with my toolbox, determined to close the window to stop her from catching a summer cold. As I chipped away at the dirt and flake paint which had jammed the window open, I looked down and could see that Kip was playing away from the house, sitting on an old rope swing which hung from the oak tree by the barn. She looked happy. Finally the window budged and I was able to close it. Ooh, with the old rope swing, guys, at a tree. On the second night, I didn't sleep well at all, and by the morning I felt shattered. Something had changed to me. The house didn't feel as comfortable as it did when we first arrived. The air had become closer and stifled. Again, I let Kip sleep in for a while before bringing her breakfast. She was already awake when I entered, and when I asked her how she had slept, she replied, "Not good, Daddy." When I inquired why, she whispered, "Mr. Leaves was watching me from outside." I looked over at the window for a moment, a chill running up my back. "Can you tell him to go away?" Kip asked. Again, I reassured her and gave her a big hug. Soon she was playing on the swing again by the barn. For most of that day, I tried to open my files in order. I wasn't due at the doctor's office in town for another 2 weeks. But I wanted to be as prepared as possible. Erin took care of some business at the bank, while Kip continued to smile and giggle as she always did, running around the house playing games. Most kids get bored during the summer holidays, but she always had a way of engaging with the world, which meant she never had a dull moment. I remember it being just after 2 in the morning. It was dark, but something had pulled me from a heavy sleep. Uncertain at first, I opened my eyes to the darkness. I finally realized what it was. Kip was talking. I didn't want to disturb Erin, and I knew it was probably just my daughter talking in her sleep as she had done it in the past. But as I walked barefoot across the creaking floor towards her room, I kept thinking about those words. Mr. Lees was watching me. As quietly as possible, I reached the door and could still hear her talking loudly. Her words muffled slightly. I knocked and entered. The window has once again opened, and Kit was leaning out of it chatting away. On asking her what she was doing, she turned slowly towards me and said, "I'm talking to Mr. Leaves." I rushed over to the window and saw nothing but the cool summer night, and the climbing of Evi fluttering slightly at the presence of a sudden breeze. "He keeps looking at me, Daddy," said Kip, as I put her back into bed. I closed the window and slept in the armchair next to her until morning. The following day, the sun absolutely split the sky. It was perfect weather, and I decided that it would be good to get Kip to help me with some chores, hoping that keeping her active would help her sleep more soundly at night. In the morning, we cut and raked the front and back lawns. We then dug out some weeds around a flower bed. Kip and Erin found it historical when they soaked me with the hose while watering the plants. Finally, I decided that Kip and I should take a look at the old barn. It had been included in the cell of the house, but hadn't been used for years. I had only been in it once, when viewing the property months previous, and I was just a quick peek without going inside. It was the house I was really interested in. Kip had been helping her mom wash the car when I took her hand and said, "Fair maiden, are you ready for an adventure?" "Yes," she replied with delight. Erin smiled approvingly. "There be dragons nearby, and only the sword skills of legendary Lady Kip can defeat them." "Okay, let's go," I yelled. I grabbed her hand and led her round to the side of the house where her window looked out, high above. Picking her up and putting her on my shoulder, she laughed loudly. "Go, Daddy, go!" I ran forward towards the old barn, but as we passed the oak tree on the way, she suddenly stopped laughing. At first she asked quietly, "Where are we going?" Another few steps, and it wasn't long before she burst into tears, shouting and pleading for us to go back to the house. I stopped immediately, shocked by her response, and gave her a big hug as my wife came running. "What's wrong, honey?" I asked Erin. Though tears in a shaky voice, Kip replied that he was taking me to the barn. "And why did that accept you?" "Mr. Leaves! Mr. Leaves!" At that she continued to sob and cry. Erin comforted her as I marched inside. I was going to put a stop to this nonsense. Grabbing my toolbox, I ran up the stairs into Kip's room. In a few minutes, the job was done, and the window had been nailed shut. There'd be no more talking to Mr. Leaves. After making Kip her favorite supper and letting her stay up a little later than usual to watch a film with us, we both took her into her bed back upstairs. She didn't seem upset when we brought up the idea of her moving rooms. She swore to us that everything was fine. She really did love that room. Erin read her a story, we kissed her goodnight, and then we went to bed. I woke up to the sound of screaming. No one can underestimate the power of a child's cry for help on a parent. I leaped out of bed and tore across the hallway in the dark. Bursting into Kip's room, she lay in the middle of the floor, sobbing in fear. My eyes had yet to adapt to the darkness, but as I instinctively stepped forward to pick my daughter up from the ground, I knew that I was not alone. A sharp pain seared across the back of my head, and as I fell to the floor, dazed. "Daddy!" Kip screamed as she clutched onto me for dear life. The sound of feet came once more, and as I rolled over, I saw my wife, Evelyn, running through the doorway. I tried to warn her, but the strike to the back of my head had left me both blood-eyed and sluggish. As any loving mother would, Erin ran to her family's aid. A tall, darkened figure then reached out from behind the door, grabbing my wife's throat with grizzled, dirt-ridden hands oh, and smashing her head straight into a wall. Her body crumbled to the ground. Does this get gory? Does this get graphic? Yeah, does this get what? What the heck? I staggered to my feet and began swinging my arm as hard as I could at the beast. But in such a daze, the warm trickle of blood running down the back of my neck, it was easy to be outfought. I tried my best. Damn it. I tried. Something smashed against my jaw, then my nose, crushing it into my face. I gasped and fell to the ground. Kip held onto me once more, screaming, crying, her world undone. There was no comfort I could give, no offer of protection. The blood from my shattered nose followed my mouth as I lay on my back. I tried to rise once more, only to be battered again by an unseen force. Kip sobbed, and at that moment I knew I had failed her. The tall figure stooped in the darkness, grabbing Kip by her long locks of beautiful brown hair and yanking her head backwards. She would not let go of me. Again, the figure pulled sharply, this time wrenching my daughter straight out of my arms and lifting her up by her hair. Kip screamed in agony. Suddenly, the room was bathed in a shower of shattered glass. I looked up and saw the beast which had my daughter by the hair, the creature which had set out to destroy my family. It was man. Just a man. But the thing which had burst through the window was anything but human. In the darkness I saw them struggle. The man was powerful, no doubt, but this opponent was big and quick. It was the shape of a person, but as it moved I could hear the loud rustling of its construction. The man let out a cry, a pitiful begging sound pleading for mercy. He dropped Kip to the ground. Silence. Nothing but the rustling of leaves in the night. One last gasp was heard as our attacker was dragged through the open window to his death. I don't know how long I passed out for, but it was Erin who woke me. The attack had left her unconscious for a time, but she was okay. Helped to my feet, we both staggered over to where Kip was standing. She was leaning out of the window, crying, but they weren't tears of fear or physical pain. I knew that sound well. It was the cry of grief and loss. Looking down below, the still dead corpse of our attacker lay on the ground, covered by a blanket of leaves which slowly blew away into the distance. We hugged each other and consoled Kip out as she stared out into the night. Mr. Leaves, she whispered. Mr. Leaves. When the police arrived, they quickly identified the intruder as James Grech, a man who was wanted for questioning in connection to a series of um, wanted for questions of connection to a series of child R-rated accusations. He had been hiding in the old crimes. He had been hiding in the old barn for a while, most probably because the house had been empty for a number of years. When he saw that a family had moved in with a young daughter, he couldn't resist the opportunity. We quickly moved from the old farmhouse to a new place across town. But even then, we didn't last long. The memory of that night, being so close to where it all took place, was too much for Aaron and me. Isn't Anna's gonna pop up? But most of all, we wanted to protect our daughter. Within 6 months, we had left the town of Rhythm for good. It's not loading. Give me a moment, guys. Something went wrong. Stop losing sleep on your period. Always night pads are... No, I don't want that. Stop losing sleep. Oh. Oh. Did you guys hear something in the background? Did the audio catch that? Some of my things just fell off. Something in the background just fell off. Am I being haunted? Am I being haunted? I'm not gonna lie, that did scare me for a little bit. That did spook me a little. Okay. Kip is now 10 years old. She's happy and continues to surprise us day by day. She says she wants to be an explorer. There's all sort of stuff out there waiting to be found. She says after that night, I tend to agree with her. Okay. I may say this word wrong. Is it apology? I often think about what happened and what it was that we saw. What saved us. The only hint of an explanation was given to me a month before we left Windarm. Epilogue? I was drinking in a local bar. Okay, thank you. And started chatting to an off-duty police officer who had attended the scene the night we were attacked. It's a shame you left the old farm. That place deserves a nice family, he said, downing his sixth beer. How can a place deserve anything? I asked. I suppose it's silly. I knew the previous owners, Mr. and Mrs. Dimitra. Nice folks. Lived there for years, cared for that place. And what does that have to do with a family living there? Well, they love kids, but never had any of their own. Don't know why. I don't think they could. What I do know is that everyone around here loved both of them. They always did nice things for the kids, helping out and such. I still don't understand. I pressed. They were always doing stuff. They were always doing stuff for the kids of the town. Halloween, Christmas, whenever. And I just think it would be been nice if their old farmhouse went to a family with kids. That's all. They'd ave like that. I don't know what that sentence means. It just says they'd ave like that. It was then that I plucked up the courage. Whether it was the alcohol or the timing, I don't know. To ask the question I needed answered most. The question I hadn't dared ask anyone, fear of ridicule. But by then I was leaving, so it didn't matter if people thought me mad. I just had to know. Have you ever heard of Mr. Leaves? I asked nervously. The man laughed. Of course I have. I was shocked. Someone knew about that thing. He continued. When Mrs. Dimitra passed away, the old man was heartbroken about losing his wife. He threw himself into the volunteering around the town. You know the Wooddarn Park in the middle of town? I nodded. That was Mr. Dimitra that did that. He used to be all overgrown and barren, but he got the committee interested in chipping in. So we all sorted it out together. The old man could move mountains. Anyways, he just worked away at fixing the park and planting trees, as well as keeping his own garden going, before he passed away a few years ago. What does this have to... I said before being interrupted. Welcome in, PSL. Hi. Really love his gardening, did Mr. Dimitra. Or as the kids call him, Old Mr. Leaves. And that's the end of the story. So it was him. No. So basically, Mr. Leaves was the one who... I'm guessing Mr. Lee was the one who helped them. And there was actually a real person who entered Karen's room. And Mr. Leaves was the one who tried to protect them. A guardian kind of? Yeah, because it says that Mr. Leaves, the kids used to call him Mr. Leaves, and him and Mrs. Dimitra, they like kids, but they never had kids. Because at the end, you know when they were in that little fighting scene, they saw a man at the ground outside the window, and that was like an actual person, right? That person was the one who came in and tried to do some kind of evil crime, right? But the thing that they're the little ghost that Karen kept talking to was Mr. Leaves. I think that's what I think. I feel like Mr. Leaves was the one who helped them. It was like taking care of her, and he knew about this guy, this man. I feel that's what happened. I think that's what happened. Because Karen was sad about Mr. Leaves. But she wasn't sad about the guy. But about Mr. Leaves. Makes sense. Yeah. That was a good story. That was a good story. It was really hard to read, but it was a good story. What do you guys thought? What did you guys think about it? About Mr. Leaves? I wasn't expecting the violence. Me neither. It happened so sudden. I was like, oh my god. Was good though. Nice. Goody. Okay. I'm gonna read one more. But I'm between these two. And they're both equally long. Hold on, let me go through this one. Oh my god, no. The thing about this one is that it's a new story. Okay, no. This seems a little too wordy. We're gonna go with the other one. Okay. The last one we're gonna read before we move on will be Bedtime. And this one is 20 minutes long. So I will do my best to read it through. Okay. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Ready. After this one, we'll read little short stories through Reddit or Twitter. Ready? Okay. And then we're gonna end it with my own. Okay. Bedtime. Bedtime is supposed to be a happy event for a tired child. For me, it was terrifying. While some children might complain about being put to bed before they have finished watching a film or playing their favorite video game, when I was a child, nighttime was something to truly fear. Somewhere in the back of my mind, it still is. Somewhere in the back of my mind, it still is. Okay, so this one is another grammar. Okay. Someone who is trained in this science. I cannot prove that I cannot prove what happened to me was objectively real, but I can assert that what happened I experienced was genuine horror. A fear which in my life, I'm glad to say, has never been equaled. I will relate it to you all now as best as I can. Make of it what you will, but I'll be glad to just get it off my chest. I can't remember exactly when it started, but my apprehension towards falling asleep seemed to correspond with my being moved into a room of my own. I was 8 years old at that time, and until then I had shared a room, quite happily, with my older brother, as is perfectly understandable for a boy. Oh god, the grammar. Maybe welcome in. Hi. As perfectly understandable for a boy of 5 years. For a boy 5 years my senior. Sorry, I'm trying to understand. Thank you for the like. I'm trying to understand the story. But the grammar. As perfectly understandable for a boy 5 years my senior. My brother eventually wished for a room of his own, and as a result, I was given the room at the back of the house. It was small, narrow, yet oddly elongated room, large enough for a bed and a couple of chests of drawers, but not much else. I couldn't really complain because even at that age, I understood that we did not have a large house, and I had no real cause to be disappointed. As my family was both loving and caring, it was a happy childhood during the day. A solitary window looked out onto our back garden, nothing out of the ordinary. But even during the day, the light which crept into that room seemed almost hesitant. As my brother was given a new bed, I was given the bunk beds which we used to share. While I was upset about sleeping on my own, I was excited at the thought of being able to sleep in the top bunk, which seemed far more adventurous to me. From the very first night, I remember a strange feeling of unease creeping slowly from the back of my mind. I lay on the top bunk, staring down at my action figures and cars strewn across the green-blue carpet. As imaginary battles and adventures took place between the toys on the floor, I couldn't help but feel that my eyes were being slowly drawn towards the bottom bunk, as if something was moving in the corner of my eye, something which did not wish to be seen. The bunk was empty. The bunk was empty, impeccably made with a dark blue blanket tucked in neatly, partly covering two rather bland white pillows. I didn't think anything of it at that time. I was a child, and the noise sleeping under my door from my parents' television bathed me in a warm sense of safety and well-being. I fell asleep. When you awaken from a deep sleep to something moving or stirring, it can take a few moments for you to truly understand what is happening. The fog of sleep hangs over your eyes and ears even when lucid. Something was moving. There was no doubt about that. At first, I wasn't sure what it was. Everything was dark, almost pitch black. But there was enough light creeping in from outside to outline the narrowly suffocating room. Two thoughts appeared in my mind almost what are these big words? Simultaneously. The first one, that my parents were in bed because the rest of the house lay both in darkness and silence. The second thought turned to the noise, a noise which had obviously woken me. As the last cold waves of sleep weathered from my mind, the noise took on a more familiar form. Sometimes the simplest of sounds can be the most unnerving. A cold wind whistling through a tree outside, a neighbor's footsteps uncomfortably close, or in this case, the simple sound of bed sheets rustling in the dark. Came back from the job interview. Oh, how was the job interview? How did it go? Thank you for the like. Thank you. That was it. Was good. That's good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. That was it. Thank you for the rhythm. Thank you. I appreciate you too. Bedsheets rustling in the dark as if some disturbed sleeper was attempting to get. Thank you for the kawaii. To get all too comfortable in the bottom bunk. I lay there in disbelief, thinking that the noise was either my imagination or perhaps just my pet cat finding somewhere comfortable to spend the night. It was then that I noticed my door, shut as it had been as I'd fallen asleep. Perhaps my mom had checked in on me and the cat had sneaked into my room then. Yes, that must have been it. I turned to face the wall, closing my eyes in the vain hope that I could fall back to sleep. As I moved, the rustling noise from underneath me ceased. I thought that I must have disturbed my cat, but quickly I realized that the visitor in the bottom bunk was much less mundane than my pet trying to sleep. and much more sinister. As if I alerted to. As if alerted to. And disgruntled by my presence. The disturbed sleeper began to toss and turn violently, like a child having a tantrum in their bed. I could hear the sheets twist and turn with increasing ferocity. Fear then gripped me, not like the subtle sense of unease I had experienced earlier, but now potent and terrifying. My heart raced as my eyes panicked, scanning the almost impenetrable darkness. I let out a cry. As most young boys do, I instinctively shouted for my mother. I could hear something stir in the outside of the house, but as I began to breathe a sigh of relief that my parents were coming to save me, the bunk bed suddenly started to shake violently, as if gripped by an earthquake. Scraping against the wall, I could hear the sheets below me thrashing around as if tormented by lice. I did not want to jump down to safety as I feared that thing in the bottom bunk would reach out and grab me, pulling me into the darkness. So I stayed there, white knuckles clenching my own blanket like a shroud of protection. The wait seemed like eternity. The door finally and thankfully burst open, and I lay bathed in light while the bottom bunk, the resting place of my unwanted visitor, lay empty and peaceful. I cried and my mother counseled me. Tears of fear, followed by relief, streamed down my face. Yet through all of the horror and relief, I did not tell her why I was so upset. I cannot explain it, but it was as though whatever had been in the bunk bed would return if I even so much as spoke of it, or uttered a single syllable of its existence. Syllable, not syllabus. Whether that was the truth, I do not know, what as a child I felt as if that uneasy menace remained close, listening. My mother lay in the empty bunk, promising to stay there until morning. Eventually my anxiety diminished. Tiredness pushed me back towards sleep, but I remained restless, waking several times momentarily to the sound of rustling bedsheets. I remember the next day wanting to go anywhere, be anywhere, but in that narrow, suffocating room. It was a Saturday and I played outside, quite happily with my friends. Although our house was not large, we were lucky to have a long sloping garden in the back. We played there often, as much of it was overgrown, and we could hide in the bushes, climb in a huge sycamore tree, which towered above all else, and easily imagine ourselves in the throes of a grand adventure in some untamed exotic land. As fun as it all was, I occasionally my eye will turn to the small window. Ordinary slide and what are these words? And innocuous? What is that? INNOCUOUS. Yeah. It innocuous. But for me, that thin boundary was a looking glass into a strange, cold pocket of dread. Outside, the lush green surroundings of our garden, filled with the smiling faces of my friends, could not extinguish the creeping feeling clawing its way up my spine. Means looks innocent, I think. As I look occasionally, my eyes will turn to the small window or a light and okay. That's such a weird way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. It's fine. Each hair standing on end. The feeling of something in that room, watching me play, waiting for the night when I will be alone, eagerly filled with hate. It may sound strange to you, but By the time my parents ushered me back into that room for the night, I said nothing. I didn't protest. I didn't even make an excuse as to why I couldn't sleep there. I simply insolently walked into that room, climbed a few steps into the bunk, and then waited. As an adult, I would be telling everyone about my experience, but even at that age, I felt almost silly to be talking about something which I really had no evidence for. I would be lying, however, if I said this was my primary reason. I still felt that this thing would be enraged if I so much as spoke of it. It's funny how certain words can remain hidden from your mind. No matter how blatant or obvious they are, one word came to me that second night. Lying there in the darkness alone, frightened, aware of a rotten change in the atmosphere. A thickening of the air as if something had displaced it. As I heard the first casual twist of the bed sheets below. The first anxious increase of my heartbeat at the realization that something was once again at the bottom bunk. That word, a word which had been sent into exile, filtered up through my consciousness, breaking free of all repression, gasping for air, screaming, etching, and carving itself into my mind. Ghost. As this thought came to me, I noticed that my unwelcome visitor had ceased moving. The bedsheets lay calm and dormant, but they had been replaced by something far more hideous. A slow, rhythmic, rasping breath heaved and escaped from the thing below. I could imagine its chest rising and falling with each sordid, wheezing and garbled breath. I shuddered and hoped beyond all hope that it would leave without occurrence. The house lay as it had the previous night, in a thick blanket of darkness. Silence prevailed, all but for the perverted breath of my, as yet, unseen bunkmate. I lay there terrified. I just wanted this thing to go, to leave me alone. What did it want? Did something unmistakably chilling transpire? It moved. It moved in a way different from before. When it threw itself around the bottom bunk, it seemed unrestrained, without purpose, almost animalis- animal- animalistic. Animalistic. This movement, however, was driven by awareness, with purpose, with the goal in mind. For that thing lying there in the darkness, that thing which seemed intent on terrorizing a young boy, calmly and nonchalantly sat up. Its labored breathing had become louder as now only a mattress and a few flimsy wooden slats separated my body from the unearthly breath below. I lay there, my eyes full with tears, a fear which mere words cannot relate to you or anyone else occurred through my veins. Karma, welcome in again. I would not have believed that this fear could have been hidden, but I was so wrong. I imagined that this thing would look like sitting there listening from below my mattress. The 4 creepypasta stories that I just read to everyone. Right now I'm reading Bedtime, our last creepypasta for today. Hoping to catch the slightest hint that I was awake, imagination then turned to an unnerving reality. It began to touch the wooden slats which my mattress sat on. Oh god, my phone is about to die. Hold up guys, let me plug in my phone. Don't get mad at me. No, you're good. Grandma, you're good. Don't worry. I'm not mad. Thank you for the gift. Kia, thank you. Where was I? I said it on. The Vizcaya voice. It seemed to caress them carefully, running what I imagined to be fingers and hands across the surface of the wood. Then with great force, it prodded angrily between two slats into the mattress. Even through the padding, it felt as though someone had viciously struck their fingers into my side. I let out an almighty cry, and the whizzing, shaking, and moving thing in the bunk below replied, in kind of violently vibrating the bunk as it had done the night before. Small flakes of paint powdered onto my blanket, from the wall as the frame of the bed scraped along it, backwards and forwards. Once again, I was bathed in light, and there stood my mother, loving, caring as she always was, with a comforting hug and calming word which eventually subdued my hysteria. John, welcome in. Hi, welcome to the creepy story stream. At the moment, I'm reading a creepypasta story called Bedtime. Of course, she was asked what was wrong, but I could not say. I dared not say. I simply said one word over and over and over again. Nightmare. This pattern of events continued for weeks, if not months. Night after night, I will awaken to the sound of rustling sheets. Each time I will scream so as to not provide the abomination with time to prod and feel for me. With each cry, the bed will shake violently, stopping with the arrival of my mother, who will spend the rest of the night in the bottom bunk, seemingly unaware of the sinister force torturing her son nightly. Along the way, I managed to feign illness a few times and come up with other less than truthful reasons for sleeping in my parents' bed. But more often than not, I will be alone for the first few hours of each night in that place. The room where the light from outside did not sit right. Alone with that thing. With time, it can become desensitized to almost anything, no matter how horrific. I had come to realize that, for whatever reason, this thing could not harm me when my mother was present. I am sure the same would have been said for my father. But as loving as he was, walking from sleep was almost impossible. After a few months, I had grown accustomed to my nightly visitor. Do not mistake this for some unearthly friendship. I detest the thing. I still feared greatly, as I could almost sense its desire, its personality, if you could call it that. One filled with a perverted and twisted hatred, yet longing for me, of perhaps old things. My greatest fear realized in the winter. The days grew short, and the longer nights merely provided this wrench with more opportunities. It was a difficult time for my family. My grandmother, a wonderfully kind and gentle woman, had deteriorated greatly since the death of my grandfather. My mother was trying her best to keep her in the community as long as possible. However, dementia is a cruel and degenerative illness, robbing a person of their memories one day at a time. Soon she recognized none of us, and it became clear that she will need to be moved from her house to a nursing home. Before she could move, my grandmother had a particularly difficult few nights, and my mother decided that she would stay with her. As much as I loved my grandmother and felt nothing but anguish at her illness, to this day I feel guilty that my first thoughts were not of her, but of what my nightly visitor may do should it become aware of my mother's absence. her presence being the one thing which I was sure was protecting me from the full horror of this thing's reach. I rushed home from school that day and I immediately wrenched the bed sheets and mattress from the lower bunk, removing all of the slots and placing an old desk, a chest of drawers, and some chairs which we kept in a cupboard where the bottom bunk used to be. I told my father I was making an office, which he found adorable, but I will be damned if I give that thing a place to sleep for one more night. Ladybug, welcome. Hi, I'm reading a creepypasta at the moment. It's called Bedtime. Come to the stream. As darkness approached, I lay there knowing my mother was not in the house. Hello, how are you doing? I did not know what to do. My only impulse was to sneak into her jewelry box and take a small family crucifix, which I had seen there before. While my family were not very religious, at that age I still believed in God and hoped that somehow this will protect me. Although fearful and anxious while gripping the crucifix under my pillow tightly in one hand, sleep eventually came and I drifted off to dream. I hope that I will awaken in the morning without incidents. Unfortunately, that night was the most terrifying of all. I woke gradually. The room was once again dark. As my eyes adjusted, I could gradually make out the window and the door and the walls, some toys on a shelf, and even to this day I shudder to think of it. For there was no noise, no rustling of sheets, no movement at all. The room felt lifeless. Lifeless, yet not empty. The nighty visitor, the unwelcome, wheezing hate-filled things which had terrorized me night after night, was not in the bottom bunk. It was in my bed. I opened my mouth to scream, but nothing came out. Utter terror had shaken the very sound from my voice. I lay motionless. If I could not scream, I did not want to let it know I was awake. I had not yet seen it. I could only feel it. It was obscured under my blanket. I could see its outline, and I could feel its presence, but I dared not look. The weight of it pressed down on top of me, a sensation I will never forget. When I say that hours passed, I do not exaggerate. Laying there motionless in the darkness, I was every bit a scared and frightened young boy. If it had been during the summer months, it would have been light, but the grass of winter is long and unrelenting, and I knew it would be hours before sunrise. A sunrise which I yearned for. I was a timid child by nature, but I reached a breaking point, a moment where I could wait no more, where I could survive under this intimately deviant abomination no longer. Fear can sometimes wear you out, make you threadbare and shell of nerves, leaving only the slightest trace of you behind. I had to get out of the bed. Then I remembered the crucifix. My hand still lay underneath the pillow, but it was empty. I slowly moved my wrist around to find it, minimizing as best I could the sound and vibrates caused, but it could not be found. I had either knocked it off of the top bunk, or it had, I could not even bear to think of it, been taken from my hand. Without the crucifix, I lost any sense of hope. Even at such a young age, you can be acutely aware of what death is, and intensely frightened of it. I knew I was going to die, and that bet if I lay there, dormant, passive, doing nothing. I had to leave that room behind, but how? Should I leave from the bed and hope that I make it to the door? What if it's faster than me? Or should I slowly slip out that top bunk, hoping to not disturb my uncanny bedfellow? Realizing that it had not stirred when I moved, trying to find the crucifix, I began to have the strangest thoughts. What if it was asleep? It hadn't so much as breathed since I had woken up. Perhaps it was resting, believing that it had finally got me, that I was finally in grasp. Or perhaps it was toying with me, after all I had been doing just that for countless nights. And now with me under it, pinned against my mattress with no mother to protect me, maybe it was holding off, savoring its victory until the last possible moment, like a wild animal savoring its prey. I tried to breathe as shallowly as possible, and mustering every ounce of courage I could, I reached over slowly with my right hand and began to peel the blanket off of me. What I found under those covers almost stopped my heart. I did not see it, but as my hand moved the blanket, it brushed against something smooth and cold, something which felt unmistakably like a gaunt hand. I held my breath in terror as I was sure it must now have known that I was awake. Nothing. It did not stir. I felt dead. After a few moments, it felt dead. After a few moments, I placed my hand carefully further down the blanket and felt a thin, poorly formed forearm. My confidence and almost twisted sense of curiosity grew as I moved down further to a disproportionately larger bicep muscle. The arm was outstretched, lying across my chest, with the hand resting on my left shoulder as if it had grabbed me in my sleep. I realized that I will have to move this cadaverous appendage if I even so much as hoped to escape its grasp. For some reason, the feeling of torn rag clothing on the shoulder of this nighttime invader stopped me in my tracks. Fear once again stole in my stomach, and in my chest I recoiled, my hand in disgust as a touch of straggled, oily hair. I could not bring myself to touch its face, although I wondered to this very day what it would have felt like. Dear God, it moved. It was subtle, but its grip on my shoulder and across my body strengthened. No tears came, but God, how I wanted to cry. As its hand and arm slowly coiled around me, my right leg brushed along the cool wall which the bed lay against. Although that happened to me in that room, this was the strangest. I realized that this clutching, rancid thing which drew great delight from violating a young boy's bed was not entirely on top of me. It was sticking out from the wall like a spider striking from its lair. Suddenly, its grip moved from a slow tightening to a sudden squeeze. It pulled and clawed at my clothes as if frightened that the opportunity would soon pass. I fought against it, but its emaciated arm was too strong for me. Its head rose up, reading and contorting under the blanket, and now I realized where it was taking me. Into the wall. I fought for my dear life. I cried and suddenly my voice returned to me, yelling, screaming, but no one came. Then I realized what it was so eager to suddenly strike. Why this thing had to have me now. Through my window, that window which seemed to represent so much my life, from outside, streaked hope, the first rays of sunshine. I struggled further, knowing that if I could just hold on, it will soon be gone. As I fought for my life, the unearthly parasite shifted, slowly pulling itself by my chest, its head now poking out from under the blanket, wheezing, coughing, rasping. I do not remember its features. I simply remember its breath against my face, foul and as cold as ice. As the sun broke over the horizon, the dark place, the suffocating room of content was washed, bathed in sunlight. I passed out as its scrawny fingers encircled my neck, squeezing the buried life from me. I awoke to my father offering to make me some breakfast, a wandering sight indeed. I had survived the most horrible experience of my life until then, and now. I moved the bed away from the wall, leaving behind the furniture I had believed would stop that thing from taking a bed. Little did I think that it would try to make mine. It would, no, not make, try to take mine and me. Weeks passed without incidents, yet on one cold, frost-bitten night, I awoke to the sound of the furniture where the bunk beds used to be, vibrating violently. In a moment it passed. I lay there sure I could hear distant wheezing coming from deep within the wall, finally fading into the distance. I have never told anyone this story before. To this day, I still break out in a cold sweat at the sound of bed sheets rustling in the night, or a wheeze brought on by a common cold, and I certainly never sleep with my bed against a wall. Call it superstition, if you will, but as I said, I cannot discount conventional explanations such as sleep paralysis, hallucinations, or that of an overactive imagination. But what I can say is this: the following year I was given a larger room on the other side of the house, and my parents took that strangely suffocating, elongated place as their bedroom. They said they didn't need a large room, just one big enough for a bed and a few things. They lasted 10 days. We moved on the 11th. And that's the end of the story of bedtime. That was creepy. That was creepy. That one brought in some memories of mine. I'm not gonna lie. It brought in some memories of mine. And I'll tell you right now. Well, before I do, what do you guys thought about the story? I liked it. I think that was creepy. That was good. I think that one was good. And also, hi everyone who joined in. Hello, Blink, Zero, Miles. Hi, pretty good, right. I like that one. That one was good. That one was good. But yeah, but basically, it reminded me of my own story back then when I used to sleep in a bunk bed by myself as well. It wasn't like this story, but basically, I also slept at the top bunk, and one night I woke up, right. I woke up like in the middle of the night, and I was like more asleep than awake, so I like turned over and like faced the wall and tried to go back to sleep, right? But I heard like a small little faint whisper right behind me. And I kind of didn't react to it. Like I said, I was more asleep than awake. I heard it, but I didn't react to it. I'm like, I'm gonna go back to sleep, right? But that same whisper happened again, and it was a little bit more louder. And this time, I'm like, okay, I heard it. I heard it. Sleep with the ghost, right? And like, I heard it. I clearly heard that. Karma, welcome again. Hi, hi. You missed the story. It was a good story. It was a good story. Um, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I can finally. I can finally stay. Hey, let's go. Um, and I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna go back to sleep. I don't wanna. I don't wanna grab attention to it. Like it's whatever. It's just a ghost. Um, but it seemed like it didn't like that because the next thing you know, it spoke louder. You know those horror movies where like these ghosts like whisper very loudly and very like mad, but you cannot for the life of God like understand what they're saying. It's like they're speaking some other language or something like that. Do you know those whispers? Like from movies and stuff like that? That's exactly what I heard after ignoring it. Like it whispered loudly and it like said something and it was like angry. And that's where I woke up. Like I opened my eyes so quickly. I woke up and I turned around because I was like, wait. Why am I hearing stuff? It's in the middle of the night. I'm not supposed to hear nothing. And I'm in the top bunk bed. How the heck am I able to hear that? You know? Because my sister was fall asleep. She was snoring. I could hear it. And so, Lizzie, welcome in. So when in that moment when I turned to see what it was, are you so haunted all this time? I don't know. I don't know. The moment I turned around, it was dark. Okay, yeah, I sleep with the lights off. Okay, so of course it's gonna be dark. But when I turned around, it was like completely dark. Like in front of me, it seemed like there is I don't know. There is like it was just abnormally dark. If that makes sense. I'm normally dark. Um, but yeah. There was nothing. There was nothing. I checked down. I called for my sister and everything, and nada, nada. There was nothing. So it kind of reminded me of that, and kind of scared me, because that was the most creepiest thing ever. That's when I started hearing things. 100%. That's when I started hearing things. Um, and there was other things that happened, but they're not as big as the one that I just told you. I have a squishmallow, right? It's a pineapple, and I like to rest it by at the railing, right? One night I was again facing the wall, and somebody pushed my squishmallow that I rolled all the way to the wall. And then again, that time I was actually I think I was by myself by that time. So that was creepy too. But yeah, it reminded me of that. Um so it is creepy. It is very creepy when you hear things like that. Very creepy. Extremely creepy. But yes. Okay. Did you ever get so scared you could not sleep at all? Not sleep at all? Um, there was one time, um, but I don't think you guys are gonna believe me on this one. I don't think you guys are gonna believe me on this one because it doesn't sound. It sounds really fake, but it's not fake. It's not fake. Do you guys want to listen to it? Um, I'm not sure if you guys want to listen to it. Sure. Okay. So as you guys already know, I am haunted. I don't know why, but our family just attracts ghosts in general, spirits, energies. Uh, but I do back then. I used to attract a lot of like stuff. Um, but there was this one time I still had the bunk beds. I still had the bunk beds, but I moved to sleep on the bottom bunk bed because I couldn't take it anymore. But one night I went to sleep and I had this very weird dream. Till this day, I don't even know if it's a dream, if it was a dream or not. But basically, it was a dream where I was moving in with my family, right? We were moving into a new house and we were moving our stuff inside. Um, I was upstairs in the attic just messing with stuff, just doing what anybody would do and tidy up or whatever. Until like I started hearing my family go like get loud, right? They're like, no this or like no that. And so I'm like, oh my god, what's happening? So I go downstairs and I go by the kitchen, right? And I see Papa Owl, right? Holding this green paper, right? Shaped in a block. There's nothing inside. It's just paper, light paper, right? He's like grabbing it, and like he's like shaking. He's like shaking, and then Mama Owl goes and reaches for the same block paper, and all of a sudden she's shaking, right? And then my sister, in my dream, she gets really annoying, and she's like, "It's just a piece of paper. Like, well, what is it?" And so she grabs it, and then she was gonna start complaining, but then she kind of just stopped, and all of a sudden she sees him. She's also starts shaking, and she looks at the box like, "Oh my god! Like, I can't control my arm. I can't control my arm." I'm just like, "What the heck? Are you guys messing with me?" Oh, trap, yeah. Are you guys messing with me? And so I go and I reach for the box, and I'm like raising it up. I'm like, it's just a piece of paper. And then I cut off. I cut off because I noticed that my arm, all of a sudden, I did not have control of my arm. And this box was like, I don't know, it was like taking over me. Right? I couldn't, I all of a sudden, I just felt paralyzed. I could still move a little bit, but not that much. It's basically I started shaking because I was trying to forcefully move, but I couldn't because I felt paralyzed. And I look at this box and I'm just like, what is this? What are you? And I just see my vision like slowly like going black, and all of a sudden I hear muffle, and all of a sudden I just my body was just taking control over, and I'm like, I'm getting possessed. I'm getting possessed right now. And silly enough, the first thing that came to my mind was to pray, right? So I started praying, and 2 sentences into it, I wake up, and I wake up praying. But when I woke up, uh, I still felt the same sensation that I was feeling in my dream, where like I couldn't feel my body. So I was kind of like still paralyzed, I guess. So when I say that I woke up praying, I mean like I woke up and continued my sentence until the end, and then I feel light again. I feel light again. But it was nasty. I couldn't sleep that night. I didn't sleep for a couple of days actually, because it was the most scariest shit ever. Um, Possessed through my dreams or not, that was the most scariest dream ever. Because I have heard that, and there's been real life situations where people do get possessed through their dreams. Like, demons and energies can go through your dreams and possess you or take your souls and stuff like that. So yeah. Um yeah, I woke up, and after that I kind of have like I panic and I started crying because I'm like, oh my god, I almost got possessed. What was that? What was that? Um, I didn't sleep. I turned on the lights and I like sat at the floor. I didn't even want to be in bed. I sat on the floor and I just like, I don't know, put a lot of music and just phew. One day you may wake up as a passenger in your own body. Oh, I don't like that. I don't want that to happen because oh no. But no. But nowadays I don't have that anymore. I don't dream that much anymore. It's very rare for me to dream, and if I do, it's just very weird, random stuff, which is good. I think it's good because no, never. And the only reason why I say that it may have not been just a dream, and it could been like some kind of, I don't know, evil identity, is because it was piling up. It was slowly leading to that dream. Because before that one, the other nights, that same house that I moved into was like slowly getting closer to it. I was slowly getting closer to it through each night, each dream. So like, for example, at the beginning of my which I believe that I started, was I was playing with a group of friends in my dream, right? And we were walking by a block, and this same house that I dream about getting quote unquote possessed, grabbed my attention just for like a split second, and then I just continued playing with my friends, right? With my friends. The second dream I had was where I had another group of friends, and we again passed by that same block and that same house, and this time we actually stopped and we looked at the house, and they're like, you know, that house is haunted. I heard some very scary stories about it and blah 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 blah, right? And I'm like, let's just go. Like, nah, this is stupid. I don't know what you're talking about. And then my third dream, I had another group of friends, and this time they wanted to go in, but then I said no, because I'm like, no, you guys are stupid. You guys are crazy. We're not gonna go in there, and plus, I don't think it's a good idea. Something is telling me not to go in there. Let's not go in there. And they're like, oh, you're lame. You're so lame. You're so boring. I'm like, I'm trying to protect you from getting possessed. Okay, just don't go in. The next dream, I don't quite remember them anymore. Because I made myself forget them, if that makes sense. But it just kept getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Oh, I think I do remember. One of the dreams was where like I almost stepped into the house, but something in my gut feeling was telling me not to go in, and so I didn't go in. And I think I woke up that time because Mama Owl interrupted my sleep and went through my she knocked and woke me up. So yeah. But all of that led to me actually moving into that house, and that happened. So it might just be me, just overthinking stuff, but at some point I think it was planned, it was planned. Also because like I do have a lot of haunted stories, like haunted. I don't usually talk a lot about it because some of them sound very fake. um Extremely fake, because I know them very detailed and could sound fake, but they're not. Dreams or premonitions have some truth in them, I feel. Yeah. And even if it wasn't a possession, like a real possession, it could have been like some kind of bad energy just linking into me, giving me nightmares and just draining my energy, because that's what ghosts do. They leech on you and they drain your energy. But yeah, that's the only one that really, 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 really scared the crap out of me. I'm like, nah, dream or real, that was the most scariest thing ever. I could have been assigned to not go there. Right. Yeah, because after that day, I just kept an eye about that house. Till this day, I still know how it looks. And it looks very familiar to a family member's house. So I've been trying to stay away from that because I'm like, no. But yeah, that's another one. What's another one that I can tell? I have a lot of them. I can take it as easy one. It's very short and very easy. There was one time where I woke up in the middle of the night and I had to go to the bathroom, right? But I was like really asleep, and I was too lazy to turn on the lights, so I walked through the dark, to go to the bathroom. It's like a little hallway to go to the bathroom. And on my way there, I felt somebody touch my shoulder. Somebody touched my shoulder. And it wasn't lightly, like it was permanent. No, not permanent, but like it was heavy, like it was like almost human. And me being still sleepy, I turned and I'm like, "Are you gonna go to the bathroom?" Because I thought it was like somebody. And when I hear silence, I kind of like blinked and I'm just like, "Are you gonna go? Are you what? What?" There was nobody. There was no one there, and I just kind of shrugged it off and I just went do my thing and went back to bed. But that was really funny. No, not funny. That was interesting. That was interesting. That I think that was the first time like something. Oh no, no! That wasn't the first time something physically touched me. That wasn't the first time something physically touched me. How many disasters have you been saved from? I wonder. I don't think they're disasters. I don't like the worst I have seen, like something tornado. Something like really bad was my dream, and that was it. That little dream, and a lot of people who experience sleep paralysis demons. I see. Here's the thing. My sister experiences those a lot. She gets a lot of sleep paralysis, and as in the Spanish sentence, se le sube el demonio, ¿verdad? Which in English is the devil rises up on her, right? And it got really bad to a point where like it will happen every night. So I will have occurring dreams of these things getting at me, while she will have sleep paralysis every night and see things and haunt her. And I was tired of it. I was freaking tired of it. So I got into spirituality and stuff like that. So like I bought like what is that thing called? My sister had me sleep in her room when she went through it. Yeah, it's really yucky. There was one time I dreamed of I was getting turned into a cube by Wally. Oh no. Oh. Was it in the most nicest, like, no, the most clean version ever, or is it in a gory way? But I got into spirituality and stuff like that because I was getting tired of it. I started like doing these night spells, the salt, the things that washes away spirits and evil. I bought, what did they call again? Like Wiccan. And I bought obsidian, gory. Oh, 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 that's horrible. I bought a lot of obsidian stones, and I told her, put these by your door with salt, and put these stones under your pillow. And it worked for a while. It worked for a while. Like, she came to me and she's like, hey, I haven't been having like many sleep paralysis. I mean, I do have still a few, but like they're not as scary or like as heavy as before. I'm like, that's good. Sarah, welcome in. Hi. Right now I'm telling my little haunted stories. And so I'm like, that's cool. That's good. That is really good. But yeah, but it didn't last long. And she started getting them again. Zigzag, welcome in. Hi. And so I just kept doing these little witchcrafts and stuff like that, so I can like just tell them to f off, because it was really annoying. At some point, I'm like, I need to sleep. My sister needs to sleep. I need these things to like go away. But we don't have them anymore. I don't know what it was, but they're kind of gone. I mean, there's still like spirits and ghosts wandering around the house, but they don't come into my dreams, and she hasn't had sleep paralysis anymore. So that's good. Necro, welcome in. Hi. Hello. How are you today or tonight? But yeah, there was another story I was gonna tell you. The other one was, what was it? Oh yeah. Will you guys want to hear two ghosties that will you want to summon something if you could? No. I already attract so many stuff. The least I want to attract is something evil. Like, it was so hard to just detach that stuff away from me. But no. I wouldn't want to. Okay, I'm gonna tell them. You can call me crazy, but there was one moment in my life where I experienced ghost. You know how crazy I am. When I experienced ghost, okay, we got permission to call you crazy. Yeah, you got permission to call me crazy, because these stories are crazy. Like, they sound crazy, but they were real. I experienced them. Okay, I was sober. I don't drink. I don't nothing. Okay, so there was this one time in my life where I experienced such a weird ghost. Okay, such weird ghost. I was in my same room as this one, right? But back then I had a queen bed. Okay, so I had a lot of space. And I'm the kind of person who doesn't take a lot of space when they're asleep. So I take my little corner and I go to sleep in that little corner, right? So there's like a lot of open space around. I don't know why I got a queen bed. I don't know why. But milk tea, welcome in. Hi. There's this saying that you should not leave empty space around your bed, because that's basically you subconsciously inviting something to lay next to you, right? And there's been a lot of stories out there about it, where people will leave the side of their bed open just because the bed is really big and they only need like a little corner. So I have a messy bed and lots of flush shit. Back then I didn't have all of that stuff. Now they're everywhere, but back then I didn't. So there was a lot of space. And one day during the evening, like around 6, I think, like 6 or 5 p.m. I was on my phone, right? I was facing the wall. I was huddled up in my little corner, you know. And the lights were on, okay? I had my little lamp, and my little lamp is like the freaking sun. It lights up my whole entire room. I was watching videos. Oh, I don't know. I was like doing something on my phone when all of a sudden, no, wait, no, that's not the first one. The first one was where I was falling asleep. I put my phone down. It was already dark. I was ready to go to sleep. I closed my eyes, and then all of a sudden, I feel something caress my head slowly. It was very light though. It wasn't like heavy like a hand. It was very light, but I felt it. And the only reason why I believe that it was there is because I sleep with my hair down. I don't hold it up. And so the position I was in, my hair was like built up, right? So when that little light hand crossed my head, my hair like fell to the side of my face. My hair fell to the side of my face, and as you can see, I do not have straight hair, so it's not, my hair's not slippery, you know. And I wasn't scared though. It was just like I was weirded out. I'm like, of all the things you could have done, you crossed my head when you could have scared me. You could have dropped something. You could have, I don't know, pushed me off the bed, dragged me out the bed. But no, this ghosty crosses my head. And this ghosty does it for a while. And I ended up enjoying it for some reason. I'm just like, as long as you don't possess my body, I'm okay with it. And I ended up falling asleep, right? I woke up the next morning and I'm just like, Odette, you're crazy. You are crazy. Oh my god, what happened? Wait, do you need to tie your hair when it's long while you sleep? I don't. I don't. I know it's like really bad, but I don't tie my hair when I sleep. I just let it wander off loose. But yeah, and the next day, now this is the one where I was continuing. It was evening. It was like 5 or 6 p.m. I was scrolling through my phone. I was huddled up in my little corner, right? When all of a sudden, I just feel behind me, because I was facing the wall again. Behind me, I feel the bed just sink down. You know when somebody sits on your bed, like you sink down, the bed just sinks down and you're like kind of gravity pulls you over there. Right. I felt that. And I turned around because like my sister is really quiet. She's really, sometimes I do not hear her come into my room. So I turn around and I'm like hoping it's my sister. There's nobody. There is nobody. There's nobody. And I look down at the bed and I just see I see the shape of somebody sitting down, because I have these very soft blankets, right? So their butt figure is right there. And I'm just like, oh Lord, oh God, okay, or whatever. I'm not gonna deal with this right now. So I turn back around and I go back in my phone. No, 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 that was my speaker. I turn back around and I'm on my phone again, right? And I feel the bed sink again, but this time they like completely sit down, so the bed goes down. And the thing about it is that back then the bed that I had was high. It wasn't low, it was high. So when somebody sits down, their feet are hanging down, so there's more pressure going down on the bed, right? That's exactly what happened. It was like somebody sat down and their legs were just hanging in the air, right? And I felt it, and I'm just like, no, no, I'm just, I'm imagining stuff. Let me just not, right? I feel this thing laid down on the bed, rolls all the way to me, and starts caressing my head again. It starts caressing my head again, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? What is this? And I had a headboard, right? I had a headboard. And of course I had 2 mirrors in there. All these girls want to bet out. I have two mirrors and a headboard, like 2 small mirrors, which I think that's the reason why there was a lot of activity going on, because you're not supposed to have mirrors by your bed facing you on the bed while you sleep, right? And so I slowly look up at the mirrors, right, to look behind me. There's nobody there. There's nobody, but I feel somebody caressing my head, and I'm just like, I'm going crazy. I am officially going crazy. I get up. I sit up, and I turn, and I just face the door, and I'm just like, okay, no more caresses, no more touchy, just leave me alone. Just no, this is crazy. This is weird. This is questionable. What is this? You know, you being nice? Oh my god, that's surprising. I lay back down again because I was getting sleepy, and like I said, it was evening. I turn off the lights, turn off my phone, and I go to sleep. Nothing happened, but the next day, oh my god. The next day, there's another ghost. The one by my side was not active that day, but there was one by my feet. Okay? There was one by my feet, and I felt the bed sink down again. I felt the bed sink down. But it wasn't because they were sitting down. The kind of sink was uneven, meaning whatever this thing was crawling up from my feet up on top of me. And I don't know why I let it, but I'm like, it's just me being, I'm just imagining stuff again. This isn't real. Like, it cannot be real. And I just feel this thing just, I feel the bed, the little spots in my bed just sinking down, and I just see my body like lightly rocking side to side as they're crawling up. Ice Candy, welcome in. Hi. Cool hat. Thank you for the like. I'm telling my haunted stories at the moment. You're free to chill down. They're really crazy. You can believe me or not, but it's a creepy story, so might as well then tell them. Question: which Vtuber in AniLive can you win in a fight? In a fight, is there a specific fight, like hand to hand, or anything? Well, what kind of fight are we talking about? That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. But is it like fighting with hands, or like whatever it is? If it could be whatever it is, with lore, with lore. I will say I think I'm the weakest one from all of them, actually. Um, oh, I can go with Noah. What about no? No, it's too strong for me. I will go with Noah because I can go and invade all of his families in a cafe. I can talk to them in animal language, and I'd be like, hey, I have a better place for you guys. I can switch up their minds real quick and betray him. Yeah, I'll go with Noah. Everybody else, I will lose my feathers. I will lose my feathers. No, but Noah. It will be Noah. You fly, so you're more invasion. Yeah, it will be Noah. It will be Noah, or it will be Hiroshi. I can literally go into his company. I can bring my clan. We can go to his company and steal all the candies. Yeah, invade his company as well. So Noah and Hiroshi. Yeah. Okay, going. Thank you for the little star. Okay, so going back to the star, I think Gloomy because I think she will let you win. No, but I can't fuck Gloomy. I forgot she's a jellyfish. Oh, but she stinks though. She's a jellyfish. She's friends with jellyfishes. So if I go for them, they will definitely sting me to death. So plus they're in water. I will soak myself and I would drown in water. So I don't think that will be possible. But she's nice. But she's too nice. She's nice, but not her jelly friends. You never know. They will be there to protect her. So I don't think so. I don't think so. Plus there's water. There's water. I will drown. I will definitely drown. So yeah. Definitely drown. But yeah, those are the two stories. It didn't last long. I don't know if I want to continue the second one I was telling you. That second one got very weird. It's all I'm gonna say. Like till this day, I'm not sure what kind of spirit it was, but it definitely wanted something. It wanted something. Something. But I said no because that was weird. That was really weird. I was so confused. Those days with those ghosties, I was just like, nah. I would definitely think I was crazy back then. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah. Those were crazy. Another one that I can tell you. Oh, okay. I have a very good one. I have a movie like one. This was when Odette was very, 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 very small. Okay, I think she was like Mukti, welcome in again. Hi. She was like 8 years old, maybe 7. Let's say 7 years old. Okay, and basically little Odette was in the living room, munching on some chips and drinking some Arizona, right? Green tea. And I was watching Dora the Explorer. Please don't. My Mama Owl and Papa Owl just wanted me to really, really watch Dora the Explorer, so I got the hang of watching it. But I finished my Arizona green tea, right? And I wanted more. So I hop up from the couch and I walk to the dining room. There's like a little dining room, right? And there's this big table with very fancy chairs and everything, right? As I'm passing by the table, I just hear a small little girl's whisper, loud and clear. And it's like, psst, psst, psst. come here, come here. And I paused, and I was like, there is no way. There's no way. At first I thought it was my little sister. And so I'm like, yo, stop playing with me. Get out. I know it's you. Right? And I didn't hear anything else. It was just one whisper. And I don't know what overcame over me, but I go near the table and I duck down. I like get on my knees and I look under the table. Because I'm like, what the heck? And there's no one. Pretty, welcome in again. There's nobody. There's no one under the table. Like, I crawl in there, I turn around and everything. I went through every chair, all of it. There was no one. But that whisper was loud and clear. Loud and clear. And then I started to get, and I got spooked. And I called for Mama Owl. And I'm like, Mom. And she came down and she's like, what happened? And like, I heard something. You're like, you're crazy. I'm like, maybe I am. Maybe I am crazy. But yeah, that happened. And the really crazy thing about that is that when I told my sister also heard that. And the same place under the table was like, psst, psst, come here. Come here. And I'm like, oh hell no. But yeah, and not only her, but also my cousin. My cousin, when he came over, he also heard it. He was like, but it says something different. Like calling a cat. Yeah, it says something different. And he actually saw the little girl. And he said that the little girl told him, come play with me. Hey, you, come play with me. Let's play. Let's play a little game. And I'm just like, Latoya. No. But yeah, a lot of my family members heard and saw that little girl. So I know I'm not going crazy on that one. I know I'm not, but there's proof. There's very solid proof. Everybody saw it. Everyone. Everybody saw it or heard her. But yeah, that one was oofies. There was another familiar one. Oh yeah, this one was more on my teens years. I was in the same dining room and I was drawing, right? I was just drawing and whatever. And I remember very clearly, it was daylight too. It was like morning, it was like 11 in the morning or something like that. The sun is out, everything, right? And I was home alone that day. There was nobody at home, okay? And I'm over here drawing on my sketchbook when I hear an old lady, a sweet old lady voice say, that looks good. Keep going. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Right? I was gonna turn to talk to her. And then I paused. I like slightly paused before I turned. I'm like, wait. I'm alone. Why am I hearing that? Why am I hearing that? And so I like turned to next to me, and I would freak out when that happens to me. Really, it didn't freak me out. I think because I've been used to it. Because like I said, I've been hearing and seeing a lot of stuff. So, and also because I was delight. So and she sounded very sweet. You're like, that's so good. Why were you so calm? And I turn around and there's nobody there. And I'm just like, what the heck? What the heck? But yeah, that was, I like, from all the other experiences, I like that one. One, because she sounded very nice and very gentle, and two, because she complimented my art. But yeah. There's a lot of them. I could literally talk about them all night, but I'm not gonna do that, because it doesn't sound cool. It doesn't sound cool. Okay, lit. Welcome in. Hi. Why are you so calm? I've gotten so many experiences with them. At this point, I am numb. I am unbothered. There's nothing that can scare me at this point besides creepy music. Besides creepy music. Oh, wait. I have another one. Okay. Do you guys know Sam and Colby? Have you guys watched Sam and Colby? What's that? It's a YouTube channel. It's basically these two boys, Sam and Colby, who goes and investigates haunted places and talk to ghosts and stuff like that, right? Me and my sister, we watched those a lot, okay? There was one time that we were together in my bed, alright? And we were watching Sam and Colby. The lights were off, everything was dark. I was like sitting directly in front of the TV, and she was like to my right. She was sitting to my right. And I wasn't scared. Like, I was enjoying myself, right? When all of a sudden, very, very clearly, oh god, hold up. Sorry, I'm back. When all of a sudden, very clearly, I hear this girl's not. She didn't sound young. She sounded like she was like in her 15s. I hear this girl just say, "Hi, hello." No, not hi. It was hello, you know? And I turned to that side because I'm like, that sounded so clear. Oh my god. It sound. Give me a moment. I'm like dying right now. Oh my god. Okay. I think I'm good. Okay. I'm good again. I hear this girl in her like teens just say hello. And I turned, like, I didn't turn with my head, but like I glanced over to that direction because it sounded so clear and so loud. And there was nobody there. But what caught me off guard was that my sister did not react to it. She was just looking. She was just looking at that. I'm back. Welcome back. She was just looking at the TV, like she never heard nothing, and I didn't tell her anything because just to not frighten her. But I heard that so clearly. And then, like, 3 days later, I told her, I'm like, hey, remember that time we were watching Sam and Colby? Did you heard a girl just say hello during the video at all? And she's like, no, I didn't hear anything. And just like, oh my god. And I thought for a moment, I thought it was the video, you know, because I did pause it afterwards and I rewinded like 2 minutes back, and I watched that 2 minutes again, and she was like, why are you rewinding it? I'm like, oh, I thought I heard something. No hello. There was no hello at all. Nothing at all. And I'm just like, wow. Oh wow. But yeah, that was one of them. And another one, you can really like the other one. Okay, the other one, my sister and I, we both heard it. Okay, we both heard it. But it was another Sam and Colby video. I don't remember which one, but basically we're watching this video, and they have this little speaker, this small speaker, supposedly that they can hear the ghost talk or something like that, right? they rewind that audio, and we both heard something, right? But we couldn't understand what it was, so we rewind the video again. We rewinded the video, Sam and Kobe's video, and we didn't hear it anymore. We didn't hear what we heard, and we rewinded like 3 times, and then we looked at each other, and I'm like, you heard that, right? And like, yeah, I heard that very clearly. I'm like, I can't hear it anymore. It's not, the audio is not there anymore. So that was really creepy. That was really creepy. I don't know if it was a video or it was something like in our room, but we heard like we heard like a cry or something like that. But after rewinding the video, we didn't hear it anymore. It was weird. Welcome back again. Hi. It was really weird. But yeah. Hello. Hi. But yeah. Question: will you rather eat pineapple pizza or banana ketchup? Pineapple pizza. Pineapple pizza. Banana with ketchup. Banana ketchup. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. And I don't mind pineapple with pizza, so I'll go with pineapple pizza. Yeah. But yes. Yeah. Just eat the pineapple first. No, eat it with the pizza. I eat it with the pizza. Just because I don't like warm fruit, so I did try eating the pineapple first, but I didn't like how warm it was. It was really weird. And I'm losing my voice. Hold on. But yeah, pineapple pizza. Of warm broccoli is my enemy. Not gonna lie. Really? I like broccoli. I like broccoli a lot. I'll eat it however it's made. Warm, cooked, uncooked. I like broccoli in general. I like broccoli, but if it's warm or cooked, no. Really. Well, at least I still like it. I like it in any way. Do you dip it? Do I dip it? What do you mean? Dip it in what? But dip broccoli and dressing or dip. I don't dip it, but I do like broccoli soup. No. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. I sent too. Yeah, I hate that too. It doesn't. It like you can't feel anything, right? Or it doesn't tell you how many you send. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm sorry. Hopefully one day. Yeah, there's no vibration. It's so weird. Oh my god, thank you for the gift. Coins here are expensive. They are expensive. Oh my god. I agree with you. They're really expensive. They make it so expensive. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah. I don't know what else to talk about. um, I already used up all my coins. Well, that's good. That's good. I still have a few coins left, but I'll give them out to my gen mates later. How hard is it to get coins? How do you even get coins? You get daily coins every time you log in. I think you get like, I don't know how many you get. You get like 60? Is it 60 or is it 100? Something like that. But you get daily coins and you basically save up for them. Or you can also buy coins, but like it's one-sided. It's very expensive. Does it increase every day? Yeah. Daily logins. Those help a lot. But yeah. My energy is drained. What's happening? Nothing's happening. Should you sleep if losing your voice? Yeah, I'm losing my voice. I've been losing my voice so easily lately. Blah blah blah. Are you leaving? I might leave soon. Just because I'm losing my voice. And also I feel very drained. Honey or something warm, I hope. Yeah, I've been drinking a lot of tea. It's just I got sick recently, so it's kind of healing right now. It's in the process of healing. So yeah. No. But I've been talking for 3 hours now. I've been talking for 3 hours. And I don't know what else to talk about. I don't feel like reading. My brain is like broken. My energy is it's been drained. It's been sucked in. If I did have more energy, I would have stayed longer. Alana, don't cry. Don't cry. Thanks. Hey, but tomorrow might be a longer stream because tomorrow we're doing ASMR. Tomorrow we're jumping back to drawing again. So that's exciting. Celebration. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for the coins. I appreciate them. Ice Candy, welcome in again. Hi. But yeah, tomorrow is definitely gonna be a longer stream. I'm sure it's gonna pass by 12 a.m. Cool. And I'm gonna go back to working on that village because we paused for a while because I did that slime ASMR. So yeah. Hello. Thank you for the energy drink. Arigato. I hear something outside. It's really weird. I'm back. Wait, did I talk about the cicadas today? I don't know if I did. No, I talked about them yesterday. Never mind. Yeah, I talked about them yesterday. I talked about them yesterday. How are you guys taking in the insects, these bugs migrating through the world in groups of thousands and millions of them together? Because I know right now there's a overpopulation with crickets. I've been seeing that over TikTok, and there's also cicadas trying to stay inside. Yeah, the cicadas got to me. The cicadas got to me, and it's very scary because they're big things, and I've been hearing people say that they've been getting bitten or stung by them. I'll try to drop in tomorrow if you're streaming when I'm free because I'm PST. Okay. Thank you. And thank you for passing by here. I appreciate you. Arigato. But yeah, so right now I don't really want to go insane because I don't want to be around cicadas. They're big and they're loud and they're creepy and they're nasty and I appreciate you. Appreciate. Yeah, I pronounce them like that. It's weird, but that's how I pronounce stuff. Yeah, my energy is shiny, guys. I think I'll be ending the stream soon, like very soon, like maybe like very soon, like in this second as we're speaking. So you should wear a jacket if you don't want to get bitten by them. But it's hot outside. It's freaking hot and it's been raining so much. So it's like humid. Okay, thanks for the stream. Of course. I hope you guys like the stories. I try to get the best ones out there. I have a lot of them. There's still like 5 of them that we have not read, but I'll save those for another time. Yeah. Oh, wait, one question. Which one did you guys enjoy the most? A quick question. What do you do with the gifts? What do I do with the gifts? Good question. I'm not sure. From what I know, it does turn into money. But I do want to do something for those who give me. I was talking with the pen pals yesterday. I think it was yesterday, or it was 2 days ago. Oh, you gotta get to know clients. Yeah. It was yesterday. Was it yesterday? We talk about what I should do for $1. Yeah. What I should do for those who gift me, right? Because I don't. I feel like just saying thank you is not enough. I need more. I need more. I need to express it more. Well, I feel like I do. So starting next week, what I'm gonna do. Thank you, thank you. Also because they're really expensive, so I feel like saying thank you is not enough. So starting next week, what I'm gonna do is we came up with 2 ideas. We came with 2 ideas. The 2 ideas were top gifter. Okay, top gifter picks a song for me to sing by the end of the stream. So you have the freedom to pick whatever song you want, and I will try to sing it. And I got this, guys. It can really be whatever you want. And the thing that I like about this is that it could go any way possible. All I know, it could be fun. It's either I'm gonna do really great at it, which is very low. I will do really bad at it, which I hope you guys enjoy, or I don't know, something else. But I just know it's gonna be fun, and so I want to give the spotlight to the top gifter by next week. So yeah, I was also thinking that a top gifter will get a thank you letter for you. That is so smart, Karma. That is great. The only thing about it is the only thing about that is if I do that, of course, I have my regulars here, so it's very easy to like do a very deep, real letter. But there's some people who join in who I still don't know very well yet, or we haven't had that connection, and I don't want to just write a letter that does not have any deep emotion into it besides like thank you for the gifts. It's basically almost saying thank you for the gifts and I appreciate you the same way, but just typed or written in a letter. So it is a good idea though. It is a really good idea. But yeah, like if you have a freaking gifter who's been doing it for a while, right, then that will make sense. But like I said, it can always be someone different, and maybe we still don't have that connection, and I don't want it to feel dry. Like I sincerely do want to like give you something that that actually has meaning to it. Or at least you are able to like have a spotlight in a way, which I was thinking about the singing one. Um, but I do want to think about other ones because singing the whole entire time will definitely not be very good for my voice. I mean, for my throat, my voice and my throat. Um, I was also thinking I can do something familiar to what you said, Karma, like maybe like a letter, but not a letter, just something special for them. So it could be like, I can do shout outs. I can do some kind of shout out on Twitter or X. Um, I can also I can also what else? Okay, I've been seeing Hiroshi streams lately, and and I've seen others also, but they have this one very fun, kind of nerve wracking thing they do, this idea where the top gifter has the chance to request like an action for the VTuber itself, the streamer itself. So do a flip. Oh god. Yeah, basically that. It could well, not all the way like that. I mean, of course, things here that you can see and you can hear, right? But it could be like saying something cute or saying something stupid. Um Something along those lines. You basically have the right to like tell me to do something and I have to do it. But of course, with common sense and keep it like PG and whatnot. Odette cures the whole stream. I'm joking. Odette cures the whole stream. So I was thinking I can do that too, as long as there's limits. So basically, you can make me say whatever. As long, like I said, it's no. What if you learn an instrument on live? At the moment, I'm still playing the ukulele, but I do want to try piano. I have a piano right next to me, so I can do piano one day. Yeah. It could be that, or it could. I was also thinking requests. And when I say request, I mean like any stream request that you guys want me to do. So it can be like you said, like learning a new instrument on live, doing the one chip challenge, and a creepy pasta story, ukulele stream. Ukulele is great for soft songs. Yeah. So I was thinking about that too. As a person that did the one chip challenge, I don't think it's worth it. Really. Yeah, I was looking at the side effects of it and the symptoms and stuff like that, and even a tiny bit is actually insane hot. Well, I do have a high tolerance. As I found out, um, yesterday. Texas, welcome in. Hi. As I found out yesterday, I did the spicy noodle challenge, right? I did it live, but it was not spicy. It was not kicking in. It did kick in for like 5 minutes, but that's after I put 3 packs of sauce in there, like fully in. 3 packs of sauce. And it was only for 5 minutes. She might do the hot ones challenge. Yeah, I might do the hot ones challenge. I do want to try. I think that one will be more fun. Plus, it might hit in, the content that I want to show you guys, where I'm in pain. But yeah. But we'll see. But Mukbang will go crazy. Mukbang will go crazy. I was thinking about doing mukbangs, but I'm not very comfortable with chewing live, and I don't think a lot of people like it. I mean, they like seeing people eat, but I don't think they like the noises that much. So unless it's like chips, something crunchy, maybe. I was crunching on ice yesterday. But yeah, we'll see. But what do you guys think about the request one? Top gifter can make a request, and it could be whatever you want. It could be a stream, or it can be a line. It could be changing my profile. Any of those things. What do you guys think about that? Should we add that in? What is your limit on what we can ask you? And I know nothing 18 plus. My limit, as long as it doesn't involve any of my private information, and of course it stays under 18 plus, it stays PG. You can ask whatever you want. I don't think there is anything else that I should be aware of. I think those two kind of settles it, right? I think it does. And Lyle, welcome in. Hi. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Not that I can think of my head. I don't think there's anything else that I should be concerned about. So like play ukulele together is fine or no? Yeah, that's fine. Wait, play ukulele together? What do you mean? Hello. Hi. How's it going? How you been? What you doing? Do you mean like a little collab? Like a music collab? I can't. Collaborations at the moment, like live streaming, at the moment, I still don't have. I have a limit. Great, I'm missing your streams. You did. It's okay. Well, you're here. You catched up. Tomorrow I do have an ASMR stream if you would like to join. Yeah, something like that. It's fun. That's why I ask. Yeah, tomorrow I have an ASMR stream. Tomorrow I'm going back to drawing again, so you will be hearing scratchies again. Scratch if you were here for those. Scratchy noises again. The live collaborations at the moment I'm not sure yet, but if you want to do like a cover or like you just want to do some kind of create like a little ukulele collab, we can do that. That can be a request as long as my boss is fine with it. I'm down for it. But I do need to talk with my boss about it first. But for now, it's a maybe. We'll see. But yeah. I'm asking again because I don't know if you guys actually said yes or not. Yeah. So are you guys down for the request one? Top gifter is able to request whatever they want as long as it is PG and it doesn't involve any information, and of course it's nothing too stupid. Is it a yay? Is it a yes? Is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a what would it be? What would you guys think? Yes. We got one yes. Anybody else? Yeah. Allie, what do you think? Or paper? Who else is in here? Paper, Lyle. Curious. Welcome in. Hi. Hello. Well, what do you guys think? I'll add it in. I think that will be fun too. And then number 2 would be top gifter. Hi, how's it going? Top gifter can request me to do anything as long as it's PG and anything personal. And for this one, it doesn't have to be a request. It could literally be also a question, like a question that you've been wanting to ask. So it could be questions and request. Yep. Everyone can ask questions. Everyone can ask questions. Yep. But basically, you have the spotlight, and you can do whatever you want. It will be your moment to shine. So I got 3 of them. There's the 3 things that we can do. Top gifter picks a song for me to sing by the end of the stream. The second one we had was a little different, where every person who gifts can recommend a song that they would like me to sing, and I will list every song of every person who recommends, and by the end of the stream I will randomly pick one and I will sing that one, which I thought that could also work. And then lastly, we have top gifter can request me to do anything they want, as long as it's PG and it doesn't involve with anything personal in my life. That goes with that, and free questions, whatever you want. I'm gonna use all 3 of them. Basically, every week it's gonna be switched between these 2. So next week I'm gonna start with number 1. Top gifter picks a song and I'll sing it. The second week we're gonna switch it up with every person who gifts can recommend me a song. I will pick a random song by the end of the stream. And then, did I just get coins? I have no idea. I swear I just got coins. Are you sure? And then the next song, yeah, like 20. Oh, really? Did they add a new update? I thought it was daily. And then the last one is the one that we just created. So these will be switched every other week, just to keep it fun and exciting. Yep. Okay, I think I like those. If you guys have any other ones, you're free to let me know. I will listen. But yeah, okay, thank you. Arigato. Alright. I really do have to end the stream now because it is getting late, and my throat is just overall killing me right now. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I had fun reading these. I did get a little spooked, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh yeah, it doesn't sound, yeah. Yeah. Gilson, thank you, don't leave. It's okay, I'll come back tomorrow, don't worry. Burger, thank you for the like. Have a good night. Have a good day, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Energy drink, thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. PST. No, sorry, no. 8 p.m. CST tomorrow. That's 9 p.m. ET, and that's 6 p.m. PST. Sayonara. Sounds good. And tomorrow is gonna be ASMR drawing with Odette. Yep. We go back with the scratchies. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm excited with every single stream I do. It's so fun. Okay. I shall be going. I have to go to duty now because this owl must go and deliver happy letters to everyone. And like always, you never know. Maybe you will get one. Keep an eye on your mailbox. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, as Karma says, sayonara. Bye.